Coming up next, we have Manuel Koelman, who is the founder of the Pirate Summit. How many of you asked that, right? How many people have been to the Pirate Summit? Arr, yeah. It is the coolest conference in Europe. It's on a junkyard, and there are fire-breathing dragons, and you get to burn a big wooden person or whatever. More interestingly, though, he's now a very active investor in artificial intelligence, and he has a bunch of things to share about with us about kind of the landscape in Europe when we're talking about business and AI. Manuel?
Thanks a bunch. R. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. It's, I think, my second or third time here in Sofia, and every time I had a really, really great time. Yeah, I'd love to talk a bit about AI and a little bit more from the entrepreneurial or investor's perspective, and what the business landscape looks like, and what is maybe hot right now, etc. And this is the Pirate Summit. This is in the evening. This is a later stage of when we have the burn. It's actually a little bit like a Burning Man, but it's not copied from the Burning Man in the US, but it's more a Cologne tradition. Cologne is one of the biggest carnival cities in the world, second after Rio, and in the end of Carnival, they always burn the Nubbel, as it is called, and you get rid of all the sins that you have done in the past year, and especially in those Carnival days. And this is, we have taken this tradition, and now we do this with the startup world every year. Then just quickly about me, I founded Pirate, and we are growing and have several conferences and a lot of events around the world, or approximately 80. And yeah, this is the passion part that we are doing. We're not aiming at building $1 billion company, but we just think we want to celebrate entrepreneurship. We want to grow the ecosystem. That's also why I'm here. And I would have reached a little bit of my mission and my goal if 1, 2, 3 people of you guys are convinced to start a startup and go into this entrepreneurial roller coaster ride. And I also invest in machine intelligence because I think this is the biggest opportunity and the most exciting and also most scariest topic, technology, invention of our times. But I'll share a bit about that in a minute. I'm not going to go into the details because Daniel does that much better than I can. Just that I like to talk about machine intelligence. That's my personal term. I understand that AI is the common term, but I believe that artificial intelligence can also be in different forms, and basically when we talk about artificial intelligence, we're always talking about machines or digital artificial intelligence. If we look at the financing landscape, this is actually AI is a very old topic. It's been around in scientific circles for decades. But it has gained somewhat of mainstream momentum in the last, let's say, 3 years, and also you see that in the venture deals that were made, and it's really rising, and it's with investors. It's now really hip to invest in AI startups, and also all the startups that pitch basically say they are AI startups, while most of them actually are not, but that's what Daniel also talked about, right? Where are these investments? Mainly US, and that's something I want to urge everyone. This is completely a misbalance, I think, although it's spreading around the world more, but we need more AI in Europe. Please, if you are thinking about maybe I should do more and work more with AI-related stuff, please do so, because we need more, because I fear that the US is going to be remain very strong, and I think this should be more evenly distributed around the world. Then about the acquisitions, a lot of the big tech companies are buying AI startups. That's a huge trend that we are seeing, and you might not now be able to see all the logos there, but you basically have the big ones. Obviously, Google, Apple, Facebook, also Twitter, Salesforce, Amazon. They're all in this space. They all want to be in this space, and they're buying all the startups with enormous funds and with a really actually ridiculous valuations. There is in the valley not a valuation for a company, but basically a valuation for an AI developer, and it's in the 7 figures, and it's just an insane development that we have there. But that's how hot this topic is, and how important the big tech companies think this topic is going to be for their business. If you look at the whole landscape, these are just 100 top picks of the AI companies. There are many more. We can see that it's all around the industry. So basically everything that is touched or everything that has data can potentially be enhanced, augmented, whatever, with AI. And it's already happening. So you have the industries like fintech, insurtech, commerce, etc. But also you have the functions like sales, analytics, of course, etc. And I think AI is going to be an invention just like electricity was some time ago. It's going to be really disruptive, really changing nearly every industry that is touched by data. I might be wrong, but that is my current opinion, and the opportunities are huge. Why is this coming? Also Lino touched on that in the beginning. So we have a lot more data. Data is everywhere, and with IoT and machines talking to machines, it's really just increasing. Then the hardware is getting much smarter. You had Intel, etc., that were building the chips. Now it's Google. Nvidia has seen a big spike because their chips are much better for computing the way AI needs to be computed. Then the software is getting much better because there's a lot of attention there. A lot of people are starting to focus on this topic. It's not only a scientific topic anymore, but it's gaining mainstream attention, especially because things are open source, so everybody can potentially work with AI now, which is a really democratized AI a bit. Computing power, obviously, but also capital. As we saw, capital is really coming in. Then I also said this could be the last invention of humankind. Yes, could be singularity, etc. But what I find most striking, what is actually happening, is that all of a sudden it appears that the machines start to become more and more of kind of a black box, and we don't really know why decisions are made the way they are made. And theoretically, we could maybe find out why a certain decision was made, but practically it's impossible. And that scares a lot of people, and I think rightly so. But it's not some kind of magic, right? I don't know who said that any technology looks like a magic if it's just far enough advanced. It is not, but it's certainly a big trend that all of a sudden these machines start to make decisions, and we have to basically trust them that they will make the right decisions. And for example, you probably heard about the AlphaGo, that the very complex game of Go was won by a computer last March, and people thought, oh, this will be 5 or 10 years out. Then the computer also started to make a move which which went against all the textbook rules, but it was an ingenious move, and a human would, or at least until then, wouldn't have played that way. So but basically, it's not magic. It's just really hard math. I think that is also important to know. It's not something we should be completely scared about, but we should be. There are a lot of ethical questions around it. So just quickly, a couple things that are currently hot there. The main thing probably in AI everybody talks about is reinforcement learning stuff. So basically, and that's the basic, that's the very basic stuff that also went into the Atari games and the Go from DeepMind. It's basically you have an agent which does an action, and then based on a certain goal, you get a reward and or not. This is a very much a brute force approach. So really, we're just trying a lot of stuff. You need a lot of data to do this. It's very inefficient. Also, if you compare what IBM Watson, how many watts it takes to compute in certain things, and our brain, so we are very far off still. But that is a very common approach. Really hot right now are generative models that are basically you have a trained system, and then a computer generates a potential, let's say, a picture. And then the system says, is this true or is this false? Until the computer gets it so right that that the system also agrees, yes, this is correct. And for example, there were a couple experiments lately where from a still image of a video, the next images, let's say frames were predicted, and it was pretty interesting to see what the computer came up with, what would possibly be how the movie would continue. And this is a very hot topic right now, because it might be offering a path towards unsupervised learning, which is just really probably the next big step. What else? Daniel also talked about models where computer can start to do various things. What in the old models, what we see is when a computer can do certain things and then learn something new, he forgets the old ones. So networks with memory is certainly a big topic that is coming. Then currently you need a lot of data. So in AI, it's important to find models that can take decisions with a lot less data. Hardware, I touched on that, and then also simulation environments will come up more and more. What I believe is basically it's much easier to train a computer in a simulation environment than in the real world. Take, for example, a car. If you can simulate reality, the computer can learn a lot of stuff. Of course, it cannot learn reality, but the machine can learn much faster, much more efficient than taking all the cars really out there on the road. Tesla has also one advantage there, because they have already a lot of cars on the road. But if you want to start your own self-driving car company right now, you need so much data to learn that it will hardly be in time to compete with the rest. And that's also something which I find very important, that the companies that are currently working on certain models, and if they are doing it correctly, they might have the chance to really have a lot of it, or get a lot of advantages in terms of their technology, which might be hard for other companies to catch up, which on the downside could lead to monopolistic tendencies and a few companies dominating, like we have in the internet area or age, which is generally a trend. So that's also why I urge everybody to look in this topic if there's any interest. Yeah, there's the picture missing. If you want to start your own startup, your own company, I would urge you to not do something like scientific and I build some, I don't know, crazy technology, but solve a real world problem first and then build the technology. And I think it's still a good strategy to say, okay, I take a proven business model or proven problem from the world, but I just do deep learning for whatever, right? Deep learning for X. What also is a business model, I'm not a real fan, but it works, is acqui-hire. So to build a startup, build the basic technology, and then get acquired. And what I found is really important for AI startups to have a good working demo. A demo is really very or disproportionately more important even than in other startups. For my investment, what I found is, the first one is not. I found it not really yet, but it's basically what I see in the market. It's very hard to build a big AI company because the big companies will want to buy you, and the offers are, as I said, so insanely appetizing, interesting, whatever, that a lot of founders then agree. Also because the big companies have a lot of data, you need a lot of data, it's hard to acquire data, that often also really makes sense from a business point of view. Then what I found is it's pretty hard to sell if you have a technology which is more a technology and not only a use case where you don't need to sell the AI. But a lot of companies don't really understand, and once they understand and once they understand what is possible, then they will try to buy you really quick. That also happened. Then what I said, data is absolutely key in the market. You won't survive. So what I would be looking for, maybe this is also a good checklist for if you guys want to start your own AI business. Problem first, startup, vertical approach. Then solving I think still a simple problem. I see a lot of startups that are coming more from founders from a scientific background. They're doing very complex, complicated problems or only technical solutions. A simple problem, and because it's fairly early, you can still go for an untapped market. I'm very bullish about insurtech, so the whole insurance industry. I think there's going to be a lot of disruption there, and they have a lot of data. So think about maybe you want to go into that space. I love to invest. Then in other companies, you always talk about what's your go-to-market strategy, etc. What I find very important that's also important for AI companies, the data gathering strategy. I find extremely important. How will you get the data? What is your data acquisition strategy to really optimize your model? Tech know-how, it's clear. I'm interested in early stage, and yeah, I'm looking for founders that are willing to move fast and adapt and learn and make impact. That's basically it. Thank you very much.